Welcome to Wisdom Talk Radio, a collaborative community of explorers in conscious living.
Adults usually, I was going to say often, but I will say usually forget about the power of play and the value of play, or we ignore it, having too much to do, and thinking, well, that'll be later. I remember growing up that I always wanted to be older than I was. It was really so I could do the things that I wanted to do without having to ask for permission or argue with my mother. But even when I had the freedom to choose what I wanted to do, my choice was way more often than not work as opposed to play. And I had to come to know and to understand and appreciate the experience of joy. And one of the ways to that is the opportunity and the experience of play. So when a few weeks ago I received an invitation to experience Bubble Planet, just the name, Bubble Planet, which is an immersive experience designed to stimulate creativity and wonder. It was like, yep, okay, it was time to play. So I invited a couple of friends and we went and played. But you, stay tuned to find out more. Welcome to Wisdom Talk Radio. Once again, I am Laurie Seymour, host of Wisdom Talk Radio and CEO and founder of the Baca Institute, home of the quantum connection process. You can go there to discover your unique connection with the essence of who you are by taking the quantum connection quiz. We're each designed to connect with Source differently. And knowing your own style opens you up to how you can directly connect with Source without any intermediaries differently than your neighbor, differently than your partner. And knowing your own style opens you up to a deeper connection with the universe. And what my experience is that it really is the secret to creating what you truly want in your life. So you are who is needed, and you are exactly who is needed. So my guest today is John Zaller, who is the executive producer of Exhibition Hub, a curator and distributor of world-renowned immersive exhibitions, most currently, and this was my experience, at Bubble Planet. John has honed his unique skills of production, visual art, and set design for more than 25 years while working in the museum, entertainment, retail, and attractions, theme parks industries. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff right there. He has contributed to creating multiple immersive experiential environments, including Titanic, the artifact exhibition, Jurassic World, the exhibition, Bodies, the exhibition, Star Trek, the expedition. Most recently, John has been credited for his contributions and skillful expertise on Van Gogh, the immersive experience, which I experienced when it was here in Denver, which was named the 2021 Best Immersive Experience by USA Today, and among the 12 best immersive experiences in the world by CNN. John, welcome to Wisdom Talk Radio.
Thank you, Laurie. Happy to be here. Long list of, things. I feel like I'm getting my diploma or an award right now.
Yeah, isn't that something? I was being interviewed the other day, and I was listening to my own bio going, really? Me? Oh, yeah, right, that's me too. Okay. Yeah, but now we get to find out about you, and really, I'm so, having experienced a Bubble Planet, also Van Gogh, but particularly Bubble Planet, I'm interested in the inspiration behind that. But before we even get to that, what has drawn you to doing this kind of work? It's pretty unique.
it really it is unique. I mean, I'm fortunate that I have this opportunity to create incredible experiences for people all over the world, and even more fortunate that people respond positively to them. I mean, I've been doing some traveling, meeting some new folks, looking at some new venues and some new development opportunities, and it really struck me that this is it's a it's a unique position, and I really enjoy the work I'm doing because it it brings people together. It helps to build communities. We renovate. Sometimes we take over and renovate old buildings. We help other businesses in the community because we're drawing people from far and wide. Typically we're bringing people from 90 minutes to 3 hour drive radius. So,
Wow.
in Denver, we're going to draw from people will come from all over. They'll come from Kansas, they'll come from Colorado Springs,
Hmm.
from Boulder, but you know, Grand Junction even. People flock to these experiences, and it it just really it's very satisfying to know that I can be a part of creating this type of experience.
When I first was thinking, oh, I'll invite my daughter and son-in-law. They have a small child. Probably he would have been a little too small. There were things he could have enjoyed, and they couldn't do it. So it was interesting to me that my set was, oh, I really should have a kid with me. But I didn't. There were three adults. I got
Yep.
to watch all kinds of other kids and how they went into it. But I also got to watch and experience from the inside how we as adults went into it. Sometimes diving headfirst into it,
Absolutely.
literally.
Yeah.
But the the incredible joy that did start to bubble up without any effort, just like, what is this that we're walking into, and what do you do here? And oh my God, there were a lot of oh my God kind of moments.
It's Bubble Planet really it's created to connect you with that source in a way that you were talking about. It's
Hmm.
created to connect you with the spirit of joy. It's inspired by the concept of joy, basically. And from the colors that we chose, these airy and uplifting pastels, to the
Hmm.
soundtrack, which is very isochronic in terms of the tones.
Hmm.
It's really helping you center, to obviously the environments that are built for play. They're built to for tactile, hands-on play
Hmm.
that you cannot help but have fun in that experience. And to your point, in your intro about having fun versus work, I mean, I certainly would. I'm somebody who loves to choose work all the time, but it's anybody who goes in that space,
Hmm.
they immediately are transformed by the space itself. So it really is an opportunity where it doesn't even get pulled out of you. The joy just flows in and out of you throughout the experience.
Yeah, my experience was that it didn't take effort. It wasn't like, oh, I have to go and play now.
Right.
It was something that was evoked from within. So, but what was the inspiration behind this? How did it get created?
Well, the inspiration comes from the idea of the bubble and what was the most fun thing, one of the most fun memories you have from childhood. It's making soap bubbles.
Hmm.
So everything stems from that expression of um, immediate creativity, when bubble, ex nihilo, the bubble appears,
Hmm.
to the agency of yourself creating that bubble, to the joy it evokes, to the ephemeral nature of a bubble that is going to pop in a
Hmm.
few minutes, a few seconds, or 10, 15 seconds if you're lucky, but journey of that bubble. So that's really where it all started in let's make something about a bubble, basically. But it was much more than that. It was a conversation of what is the thing that people connect with? It's, that feeling of joy and that feeling of self-expression and creativity. And so from there, we said, okay, where are there bubbles? And so
Mm-hmm.
then a brainstorm, and we said, they're in the ocean. They're in, their balloons are bubbles. They're bubbled. There are domes. A dome is a half of a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
You take a bubble bath. You're surrounded by bubble lights in our infinity room, and you sit in bubble chairs in our virtual reality experience.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is round and soft and pliable in that way that you progressively go through these various stages of the bubble, from the bottom of the ocean to
Mm-hmm.
flying through the air in virtual reality.
Okay, so that gives me a real feeling for that, for how something gets created. And I so appreciate that what you were after was something that had to do with joy. That joy slash creativity. And for me, they are so intimately connected. And that when we're tapping into our own creative expression or our own sense of creativity, the sky's the limit. We don't have boundaries on that.
Without a doubt. And that's really what this is about, is an infinite manner of expression inside of a space that is built for that.
Hmm. And as you were creating it, what were you, what were you hoping would happen in terms of people's experiences?
Um, we were hoping that people would find that sense of joy, that people would have fun in the experience. Part of what we were doing also, you talked about Van Gogh, the immersive experience, and there's a lot of immersive experiences that are out there. And a lot of times an immersive experience now is understood as projections on
Hmm.
the wall. So if you say immersive, that's what people think of. Oh, there's projections.
Right.
We've never really done it that way. We've always incorporated other elements. But what we really wanted to do with this immersive experience was bring all of that energy and that action that's on the walls
Hmm.
into the space, onto the floor, on things that you actually engage with.
Hmm.
Because that's the next level, that's the next step in immersive design, is guest engagement. You're in a conversation with the overall experience. And that's what we've been able to accomplish with Bubble Planet. It was certainly something that we wanted to do. We said, we just kept seeing this immersive experience and that immersive experience.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of really good ones out there, but they use kind of the same tropes. So
Right, right.
how do we do it differently? And this is what we came up with.
So you really are trying to, and did, um, bring bring everything together, because if you're just using projections, it's pretty limited, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have projections of bubbles, and that would I mean, you could do a lot with that. Obviously, a lot of different
Mhm.
content could be created from that. A lot of content has been created from the concept of the bubble, but we actually wanted to put you in the bubble.
Right.
You could float through the experience on your own bubble,
Yeah.
and we were able to do it. But it was a lot of work. It was a lot of thought went into it, but in the end, we hit this kind of right. And in Denver,
Hmm.
the way that the show's laid out, it also has this really nice pacing where you have a really high energy area followed by an area of contemplation.
Hmm.
A really high energy area followed by an area of contemplation. So you can play and you can be active, but then you can chill out and you can listen to, incredible music in our bubble dome, which creates a great soundscape inside of it.
Oh, that was amazing. I, None of us wanted to leave, but we finally said, okay, we need to give space to the new people coming
Right.
in.
Right.
So, can you speak to not only the fun aspect of it, but the sense of well-being? because it feels like it offers that perspective, it offers that opportunity.
Well, so since we've been doing immersive experiences, we've really seen that the overall, like digital art, it has a great benefit to mental health. It it lowers blood pressure, it eases anxiety, it helps
Hmm.
people get centered. And that was um, a written in a scholarly journal. I think it was Psychology Today, where there was a study on digital art, and that was digital art that people would look at on their computer screen or on their phone for
Hmm.
30 seconds. So, we said, hey, we've got 3-story tall digital art, and obviously it's creating the same kind of experience. And you find in our experiences that people do want to hang out, they want to linger, they
Hmm.
feel at ease. I actually a veteran with PTSD who I met at our installation in Atlanta, and he said that the immersive room for the Van Gogh experience, which is a big 10,000 square foot room, was full of
Hmm.
people. He said it was the first place that he felt safe in public because of the score and the art and the overall environment that we created.
Hmm.
And that obviously says a lot about that experience and what that experience did for him.
Hmm.
But in the same way, uh, the Bubble Planet experience has those moments too. Like we talked about the sound dome, where
Hmm.
you're literally taking it's a sound bath. You're surrounded by these tones of the universe that are coming together all around you.
Hmm.
It's very relaxing setting with these great, comfortable seating areas, and you really have a chance to center. And we have the same experience in the Infinity Room. We
Hmm.
glimpse for a moment, and it it really it's a trend. There's a certain transcendence that occurs for me anyway when I go through the experience, and I hear it happening for other people as well.
Yeah. And we could talk about that as a kind of escape from reality, but in a way, it's almost like it puts you into a different kind of reality. So I didn't experience it so much as an escape from, but as an expansion of my own everyday perception.
I've thought about the escapism concept for a while because I mean I've been involved in essentially entertainment. I mean, there's
Hmm.
always an educational component to it. There's actually a lot of educational elements in Bubble Planet Educator Guide as well.
Sure.
And I'm not sure that it's such a bad thing to say that we need to escape sometimes.
Hmm.
We need to find a different way of looking at things. We need to find a different outlet. We need to take a step back from our world sometimes, our personal world or the
Hmm.
the goings on around us so that we can gain that fresh perspective. So it absolutely is an opportunity step step into a new reality.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that certainly means leaving your own, even if it's for 60 or 90 minutes or 2 hours, depending on
Hmm.
how long you stay.
Yeah.
But you come out of it with somewhat different perception or another tool that you can use in your everyday experience. So I, I'm proud to say that we create escapism experiences because it's something that we all need right now. We need
Yeah.
to be able to take a step back from whatever's going on in our world and just enjoy the moment. And that's as you said in your own experience, Bubble Planet, it doesn't force you to do it. It just happens there.
Hmm. So I want to stay with that for a little bit longer, not to, kind of beat on something, but I'm thinking about that whole idea of escape from, and because of my own work, and I'm working in multidimensional kinds of things, and I'm a meditation teacher, and my work is about people opening up to more of who they are, and opening up to different kinds of experiences of who they are. And it seems to me that this is is a kind of a potential break from what you think of your life, how you view your life, how you, even maybe how you experience your life. And so I might not call that reality. I might just be call that our set, and where we get our own limitations. So this has the possibility because a bubble is like that.
And expand.
A bubble
And,
expands, a
and
bubble
yeah.
breaks, a new bubble forms. And
Uh,
that can tell us a lot.
So one of the things that uh, I've always tried to do in the experiences that I've created and produced
Mhm.
is use the scenery and the surroundings and the lights and the sound and the sets to open people up.
Mm,
Then on along with that, a lot of time because we've done a lot of work for museums over the years, there's always an educational component, and as I said, we always have this educational component.
mhm.
But if you're open to an experience, then the information that's out there flows in so much more readily. So
Right.
you're learning from this experience as well without even realizing you're learning because you're open. And that's the job. That's the first part of our job is to get people to open up.
Hmm.
And we've done that with all kinds of different experiences over the years. And but in Bubble Planet, that was the feeling. And the first time I went through Denver, I was so energized.
Yeah.
It's an energizing experience because it's really perfectly put together in terms of the way it flows, but that idea of being open. And so in a way, I might have to use that going forward. It's not really an escape where
Hmm.
it's an expansion
It's an
of your.
expansion. Yeah. Yeah. So it's an escape from the boundaries as such, the boundaries of that bubble. But as it expands, you get to experience more and more, and you get to open into what's possible. And I love that idea.
Yeah, an expansion of reality, or an expansion of your perception,
Hmm.
breaking down some barriers.
So it was really fun to, as the almost last part of it, to be in the virtual reality experience. I had not had that opportunity before, and I'm wondering where that feels like that could go so many places.
So with virtual reality, there's some it's it's been a very long journey for virtual reality. I
Mm.
started working with it 15 years ago or something like that. And everybody, there was always this challenge. How are we ever going to have more than one person at a time experience virtual reality?
Uh,
So over the course of time, we've developed some techniques where you put the headset on, it starts, you take it off, it stops. We figured out kind of how many people are going to go through it in a half an hour. We also made it longer, so it's about 8 or 9 minutes long,
mhm.
opposed to a lot of virtual reality experiences are maybe 4 minutes,
Uh,
and that feels not as sad in historically those experiences
mhm.
not as satisfying. But so once you get into it and you put that headset on, then you're carried away. And again, we wanted to explore you're basically a bubble at that point. You start at the
Right.
bottom of the ocean, you are in an oyster shell, you end up at a party
Mhm.
in a glass of champagne, and then you float out over the bubble verse and see all these incredibly fantastical elements as you're flying along.
Mhm.
And that was an act of kind of pure creative joy
Mhm.
by our uh, CEO who passed away late last year. It was really his joy that was expressed in that virtual
Mm.
reality experience.
Wow.
It's a great it's a great thing he left us behind.
Yeah, thank you. That adds a whole other piece to my experience of it.
Well, and near the end we have the digital interactives. We call them fidgetals, and you can blow up the bicycle pump where the portraits are. So there's a bunch of portraits. It's Mona Lisa, a girl with a pearl earring, a Van Gogh self-portrait. You take a bicycle pump and you pump up
I think I missed
as
it.
you're pumping. You have to go back.
I'll have to go back. You're right.
They're blowing big bubblegum bubbles that you pump and you pump and you pump and finally it pops on their face.
Oh
So
no, I do remember it. You know what? We did that at the beginning. That's all.
yeah, it's right as you come. It's sort of a loop there.
Yeah.
But that one of the people featured in those paintings is Mario Iacampo, who's the CEO and founder of Exhibition Hub. So it's nice to see him up there still.
Yeah. Do you have a feeling of how that's going to evolve, or how the whole immersion experience is going to evolve? Do you have some, where are we going? Point us towards the future.
It's going to be so the next phase will definitely be this more physical engagement and interaction. And then the next place I'd like to see it go is that the experience is actually you're actually in a conversation with the experience where it's developing as you're based on what your choices are for you. And that's something that I've concepted for a few different experiences over the years, but the technology hasn't been there yet. But
Yeah.
with the advent of so much computer learning, this is something that will be right around the corner. But another thing is the play-based experiences that are kind of unabashedly about play and creativity are going to have a prime spot for at least a few years as well,
Yeah.
because we don't always have to be so serious, and sometimes but we try to be too serious to get where we need to go. We need to play, and that's you mentioned it in your there we're kind of conditioned to think that we shouldn't have too much fun, but an experience like Bubble Planet is one where you can do that, and we're going to see more of that as well. So it's going to be the technology is going to come onto the ground and be more in the air around you, and then we're gonna all play in the technology.
Wow. It must be fun to be part of the team creating it, because I love to create things, and I love to bring people together to create things, and I'm imagining what's possible. I'm a big one for that. And from within the team itself, as you all tap into your own capacity for creative expression, for play, for inspiration, and then come together with that. Wow.
It's a very talented team, very much about collaboration, and everybody has the goal of creating the best experience. So through the collaboration, I mean, of course, everybody's got their things they wanted, the thing that they must do that must be there. And then everybody's got their moments where they haven't had enough sleep. But when it comes down to it, when we're looking at a room or an area or a design or a feature, like, the door handle or the choice of fabric, we uh, um, we do collaborate, and there's always a voice in the room. One of the people that we work with who says it really needs to be this way because, and it brings us back to the mission. It's that creativity is, and the collaboration that leads to that creativity is fun because it's life-giving.
Yes.
There's life in it. You feel alive when you're creating, and that's part of the reason why I still love doing this after all these years.
And I know that that's why it's successful, because there is that behind it. There is that in it. It's like the cells of the experience are of that.
It's infused. Yeah, it's infused in the experience. Absolutely.
So can you tell our audience where is this existing right now? Where can people find it?
So Bubble Planet is right downtown Denver, 3900 Elati Street.
Right. But that's
And,
Denver, because I have people listening from all over the
oh,
world.
well, okay. So
We gotta go way beyond that.
Mall of America,
Hmm.
New Jersey it's opening in July. Um, Barcelona, Brussels, London. Where else are we opening? I think those are the ones that are either open or just about to open.
Okay, okay,
Is there
great.
another one? Oh, and Toronto.
Ah, okay.
In Toronto. Soon to open in Asia as well.
Oh, wonderful. Where?
Um, Singapore.
Okay. So I'm not
Yep.
trying to test you,
Well,
but I have
because
people that
there's a
listen.
lot we have a lot that we're planning
Right, right.
along
And
with several other experiences. So a lot of the Van Gogh immersive experiences are still traveling.
hmm
And we have a new Titanic immersive experience as well that's really meant to connect you back to the story of the ship in a more powerful way using all these techniques that we talked about.
hmm So maybe the best way that people who are living who knows where can find out is to go onto your
Bubble,
website.
yeah, bubble-planet.com,
Okay. And
and you
that'll
can
be in the show
see all
notes.
your cities there.
Perfect. Perfect. John, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to have experienced it, for you bringing it to Denver. Um, I feel like, I feel the excitement about it, and I felt it from people there. I felt it from the kids there, but I felt it from the parents too, and the other adults in the room. Um,
Well, I really enjoyed our conversation, Laurie, and what you're doing at the Baca Institute is so much about what Bubble Planet's about, which
mm,
is opening people up, creating this channel, this, I mean, you're talking about it in such a high level, but this connection to source that we all need,
mhm.
an experience like Bubble Planet really can help to deliver.
Yes. That's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because I felt that before, and my colleague Yvonne Dam in Barcelona loves champagne, as do I. So we're very much. I told her about this whole bubble thing, and we're such bubble people, and she said, "Well, we have to do this together."
There you
So
go, and have some champagne along the way.
champagne along the way. So I'll let her know that she has to find it in Barcelona.
We'll be there.
Great. Thank you again for being here on Wisdom Talk Radio and for sharing yourself.
Thank you, Lord. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. And thank you to our audience, to all of you for being with us here today at Wisdom Talk Radio. Join us here regularly for more wisdom, discovery, and illumination. And you can find us, wherever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. We are on YouTube. So you have that opportunity if you prefer to watch as opposed to listen. And if you've enjoyed listening today, please do leave us a review, because when you do, that helps more people discover us. And Wisdom Talk Radio has been around for a long time now, but there's always more, and there's always more people that are waiting to receive and to tap into something that's new, tap into something that helps to transform them and the world. And then for more for yourself about how to thrive with your own personal quantum connection, take the quantum connection quiz now over at the Baca Institute. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us here at Wisdom Talk Radio. We wish you well in your conscious explorations. For more information and to join in the conversation, our website is wisdomtalkradio.com or at Wisdom Talk Radio on Facebook.